Hello everyone, good morning. You're gonna be stuck with me a lot probably this week because...
Baloney. I ain't giving up.
You aren't giving up? Here's what Matt's got going on.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, you wanna tell him what happened?
Yeah, I slipped on some ice underneath the deck right after we did probably a couple hours after we did the garden tour. So yeah, it's been a fun, eventful couple days. 48 hours, I can't be on the foot whatsoever. And they said then I have to wear this for 2 weeks. They said it's they're treating it as a sprain. So 2 weeks in this, and if it still has a lot of pain, then they want me to come back.
So with that going on with Matt, he is trying his darndest to just be back to normal. But it's easier said than done. So I've been picking up a little bit of his slack on cooking, which I don't know, most people probably think that should be my job. Matt just does a lot of the cooking in our house. So tonight I'm making steak, which I have never made before. So this should be interesting. So the reason I'm making steak is not because I wanted to make steak. It's because Matt already took it out and that's what we've got thawed. It was in the fridge, so I guess I'm making it. I pulled out some carrots and some potatoes. So I know somebody's gonna tell me that the best way to cook steak is on the grill, but it is, I think, like 17 degrees outside today. There's no steak cooking on the grill today. So I'm gonna cook it in a cast iron pan. This way I can do the potatoes and the carrots all at the same time. So here we go. I'm gonna put a little avocado oil in my steak pan. And Matt picked up some grass-fed butter, so I absolutely love this stuff. I think we all do, but I'm gonna use it on everything today. I can't wait for the day when we have a dairy cow and we have our own butter, but look how yellow that is. I don't know if the camera really shows you how yellow it is compared to other butter, but it's way more yellow. Should probably put my apron on, huh? I am going to add some butter to the steak, but I just want to start it with avocado oil because I'm hoping I can get it really, I don't even know what the word is. You know when a steak has like that really like seared, I think seared is the word, seared side? That's what I'm going for. This is that grass-fed beef from Matt's brother. It's so good. So I got those steaks on there, but we have a small problem. There's a third one in here. So it's not gonna fit in my other cast iron pan. I got it. I think what I'm going to do is use one of these pans for the steak. I don't have burners. I'll let that heat up for at least a little bit. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna get these, make sure they have oil all over them. I don't want to do that yet. Did not make that hissing noise it should. It probably wasn't hot enough. I feel like my house is kind of a mess, but we're making it work. I'm gonna rinse off these potatoes. These are those really starchy ones. So they worked really good for mashed potatoes, but they're just way too starchy for some fried potatoes. I think having canned potatoes is up there with one of my favorite things to can. Obviously, canned venison is my favorite food. Probably always will be, but it's sure handy to have canned potatoes. Here's that season. So I want to make sure I season these steaks really good. I'm using some salt. I finally bought some Redmond's real salt and we really like it. I know a few people have said it's kind of like gritty and I see where they're coming from, but the only thing it really bothered me on was eggs, and I kind of got over it. if I just let it sit for a little bit. So I probably don't need much salt, but I love salt. So we're just trying to eat higher quality salt. We were with some friends the other day and they said you pay for salt now or you pay for salt later. And I thought that was just a really interesting thought. I'm gonna add some butter to these steaks while they're cooking. Matt and I have a few seasonings we're always using, but honestly, salt and pepper is probably the most common thing we use on everything. And garlic. I don't want to add too much of anything else to take away from the butter and the salt and pepper, but I'm going to add just a little bit of rosemary. Funny fact, the rosemary is one of my least favorite spices, so I don't really want it to overwhelm this, but I think it'll taste really good with that butter. The only reason I think I don't like rosemary is because I just really don't like it used in excess. And I did grow rosemary this year, but this is not the rosemary I saved. You guys think I'm making these steaks wrong, you tell me how I need to fix it for next time. I don't know if Matt will ever let me make a steak again if they're wrong. Matt and I have been on an Italian seasoning kick for a while now with our potatoes. So I'm gonna season the potatoes with that. But what's really neat about the Italian seasoning is it's oregano, I can never pronounce this right, but marjoram, thyme, basil, rosemary, and sage. So theoretically, I can grow and make this myself. And one day, I hope to get there. I'm not there yet, but one day. Ooh, a little heavy. Trying to think. I think this year we grew our own, or this last year we grew our own oregano. Did I grow thyme? I think I grew thyme, basil, rosemary, and sage. So marjoram was the only thing I haven't grown. Honestly, I still have quite a bit of that in the cupboard because it's not something I use very often. I need to tilt you up. You can't see me. There's some light. So I'm a little nervous I'm going to overcook these steaks. So I'm going to get these carrots going real quick. I'm just going to drain these. I've got that butter just melted on the stove, and I'm just going to kind of let these sit in the butter for a while. It sounds kind of silly, but I noticed with both potatoes and carrots, canned potatoes and canned carrots, the less I mess with them when they're cooking, the better they turn out. I find with that Redmond's real salt, I'm not using as much salt as I usually do, so that's really nice. I still do have quite a bit of pink Himalayan salt, so I'll probably use that when I want something like a little more chunky until it's gone. I do have table salt up here too, so will probably use that up, probably in baking or things like that. Before I take them off, I just want to double check the temperature. Okay, 140. I went a little longer than I meant to. 150. Turn that one off. I think we're good. 143. There was one spot on here that was pretty red I wanted to double check. Okay, that one's 127, so that's probably going to be the best part. Alright, let's take these off. So you're supposed to let meat sit, right? I think that's right. Well, anyways, I'm gonna let this steak sit while I'm finishing up the potatoes and carrots and getting everything ready for supper. Does it smell good, Eli?
No.
No? Is Dad a better cook than Mom?
No.
No. Mom's a pretty good cook. I bet nobody on our YouTube channel knows that. I actually love to cook. All right, these carrots I'm a little zoomed in. These carrots more than anything have just been kind of warming on the back. I really didn't have them on. So I just turned them on high so that I can just kind of quick cook them, flip them, cook them, just be done. Potatoes are starting to crisp up a little bit, but there's still quite a few mushy ones. Kids actually like some of those, so I'm okay with leaving some of each. So Lydia is passing out our cups of water. And I'm gonna wait for Matt to come up so he can cut the steak and at least feel like he made part of this meal, right? I really hate cutting food, so he can do that. But our goal is to always eat at, our goal is always to eat at 5 p.m. Look at that, 5 o'clock. See, I did pretty good for my first time making steaks. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below. Glad you got to see us again. Bye.